Man, what a beautiful animal. Beautiful hawk. Hey, gang. This is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and we're going to have the biggest collapse that we ever had in America. Massive, massive, ugly job losses coming up, and not from what you're thinking. It's going to be, as I explain a little bit later, the opportunities in this, but this is going to be very, very ugly. And I'm not talking about the economic collapse, and I'm not even talking about the bug factor. I'm talking about the side effect, the aftermath of this, that companies are going to wise up to realize that, for example, commercial property is very, very expensive, and you don't need to have that. For example, let's talk about where I shop. I shop at REI, and usually I go to the store. Now that they've been closed, I've been putting all my orders in online. Thousands of dollars. I bought stuff for going to go camping with my family. And, you know, they're probably making the same amount of money, if not more, than when their stores were open, because when the stores were open, they have to pay for the overhead, they have to pay for all the employees there, and now they have very, very minimum. Today I ordered breakfast for me and my family. Normally we cook at home, but we were out there camping and we decided to get something. And I ordered it at a big restaurant. When I went to go pick it up, it was only one person working the whole area. That person was answering the phone, cooking the deal, bringing it to curbside. And I thought to myself that, man, there's big changes coming to the US in the job market because the push is on for online shopping. The push is on for automation. The push is on for AI. The push is on for robotics. And I'm going to talk about all these four re- ideas that they're separate. Now, back in 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, I'm the OG of internet marketing. At that time, I was doing internet marketing when Google was not even Google, it was Yahoo. And directories were king versus spiders, like what we have today, where Google spiders, every website that's created gathers information, etc. Um, at that time, no one even knew what a website was. No one, businesses didn't know what it was. People didn't even know what an email was. We're in a dial-up age, and I was selling, and creating websites and doing online marketing when people didn't even know. Back in 2000 or even in 2006, we never thought that everything's going to be online. For example, today, if I want to go book camping spot, I do it online. If I want to order something, I do it online. What's going on, my man? BC, if they want to do whatever they want to do, most people are doing it online. So from 2006 till now, or 2000 till now, there's been massive amount of movement from the people getting online. Internet's gotten a lot faster. Everyone has a smartphone in their home, and we're doing everything online from booking appointments for car services like getting your oil changed, buying tires, all the way down to moving, all the way down to real estate, shopping for homes, all the way down to buying stuff, from the auction online. I mean, all the way to reservations from hotels, airplanes, rentals, cars, you name it. Okay. And now with this situation with the bug and the economy collapse, a lot of these businesses are going to be moving in the cyberspace versus the brick and mortar. Because, as someone that owned multiple office buildings at one time in my life as a young entrepreneur, man, paying 5 grand a month for just office was easy. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to get a nice part of town. So, if you have multiple locations, then boom, So people can now put that money into the internet because it's now so easy to be able to sell online because everyone has data, fast internet. I used to make sales when it was dial up, like when it was net zero and AOL. Today, everyone has a 4G, 4G, or you know, now we're about to hit 5G. That's for the small, medium-sized businesses and even big companies. Now going into automation, that's going to take effect everywhere. We already seen it from the grocery stores. We already seen it, for example, in my business. Like I do everything in automation. When people buy a product from me, the automation sends it to them. It sends them a thank you letter. I even for my real estate investment business, everything's automation. For example, that's why I created the Alchemy Stone, where I automate your lead production, your follow up, giving the offers, all in a system where the individual doesn't do it, because we're at that age, and I'm just ahead of the game, just like I was back in 1999, where I was an SEO guy when that word wasn't even coined yet. Okay. But now we're seeing Kroger automate, where you go in there, they don't have someone there. You're seeing banks. Like I went to we're driving to a little town. We went to a bank, drew by the bank. I didn't go to the bank. We drew by the bank, and I told my wife, look, it's a big old bank, and they didn't even have an office to transact. Everything was like new ATMs where you do everything. You deposit money, you take money, whatever you need to do. And more and more companies, if it's from the banking, if it's from the grocery stores, if it's from your insurance companies, like, they're going to get away from the middleman in a sense and do stuff through automation, which is going to cause massive amount of people to lose jobs. It doesn't matter if you're in the health industry, you're in the insurance industry, you're in the grocery business, you're in the car insurance, you're in the um, automatic business, mechanic business. Doesn't matter. Uh, Automation is the next thing. All right. And then the other thing that a lot of the big companies going to learn, like Ford and GMC and, these other big companies, all these people that are like stuck, like Track, and, that have all these manufacturer in China, they're going to learn that, hey, they got to start producing in-house. Okay. Because we can't rely, on another country to produce everything, because if something happens, we're going to have no factories produce our own stuff. And so what that's going to do is, for example, Ford and Chevy, I believe they're going to come back to America, but instead of hiring people, paying them 20 bucks, 26 bucks an hour, they're going to automate it, just like Tesla has automated their stuff, where it's machines, robots making stuff. And that's the only way they can do it to compete with, the Chinese, Toyota and Lexus, because they can't afford to pay someone American salaries. Well, they can, but they're just greedy. They don't want to. And they got to take a smaller percentage of profits. I mean, they can pay people in America to make the car share for them, but they're not going to want to. They're rather, put that money into a machine, and the machines do it, and they can lay out 50,000 people and only maybe have 300 or 500 people versus 50,000 employees or 30,000 employees. And, so much less taxes, so much less pensions, so much less health insurance, so much less HR. I mean, you think about it, you're eliminating jobs. And so the big companies are just going to automate it and robot it. So they do majority of the stuff. I would say 80 and 90% of it. They're going to start doing that. And the reason they're going to start doing that versus hiring people is because it will cost them too much, and they don't want to lose in their profits, because everything's set up for them to have massive profits. And so if they hire someone in America to make the cars versus someone in China, it's going, the profits are going to shrink, or we have to pay three times more what, F-140 sells for today. Um, Probably will be like 120 or $90,000. Okay, not even including inflation, because they got to pay these guys 26 bucks. There's unions, etc. All right, or the company can take less of a profit, but they're not going to want to. The reason I say that is because you see the quality of the cars are just degrading. Like, even though we've improved in technology, even we have improved in the way we produce stuff, we have developed more in science, the quality of the cars are getting thinner and thinner and thinner, aluminum, just not anything. They're just trying to get as highest profit margin as possible. And in this crash, they're going to lay off massive people, and they're going to be in the rush to lay off more people through automation, through AIs, through um, robotics. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about car makers, or if you're going to talk about insurance agents, if you're talking about real estate agents. I mean, think about it. Real estate agents are very, very soon are going to be obsolete, because you have websites that basically do everything for you almost. Okay, so is title companies, because once things get onto the blockchain, then title policy and title companies are going to be they're not going to be able to gouge people charging $3,000, $5,000 for closing because everything's you know reset one time and it can be used over and over. So there's going to be massive amount of people getting laid off because of the bug. There's going to be massive amount of people that are going to get laid off because of the economy. There's going to be massive amount of people that are getting laid off because of the manipulation in the stock market and people have lost their fortunes in there, and more to come. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the aftermath of all this. There's going to be massive amount of job losses because America is going to go to automation, which is you're not doing it. For example, in my alchemy stones, if you guys are interested, let me leave a comment. I normally sell it for $1,000, but I'm thinking about doing a promo on it. But it's not going to be cheap. But if you're interested, leave a comment. I may do it. But for example, in my alchemy stones, I do automation where I have 13 pools of free sellers like upon like something like this, and I'm the only one fishing, right? So, and the best thing is here, and then instead of me being there throwing the rods, there's automation doing it. It's doing it for me. So 13 pools to get people to come in. So same thing with companies, like for example, many different type of companies are going to automate it, just like Kroger is automating, where you don't even need to have someone to check you out. You check yourself out, self checkout. McDonald's is automated, and where there's McDonald's that I've gone through traveling to just get hot water, and I've gone inside and there's like hardly anyone taking orders. They have machines, you just type it in and you just go and pick up your food. Okay, that's automation. Um, and then you have the AIs where for example, Facebook, Google, YouTube, they can take a picture of you and they know who you are, and they can teach the software can teach itself to think, to read, to look for certain type of factors. And before there would have been a group of people that would have to look through that data one by one, say, okay, this doesn't go against our policy, this does. Now today, that AI is just shuffling through millions and millions of gigabytes per second, and taking actions or putting it in queue for uh, someone else to look over it, which is decreasing the labor force. So very, very soon we're going to be in a situation where there's not going to be enough people to have income to sponsor this fake economy that we have, that is debt based, because it's all debt based. And the way the system works is by people borrowing more money, and they borrow more money because they got to consume more. If they're consuming a boat, if they're consuming an ATV, if they're consuming a new iPad, if they're consuming whatever. But the problem is that as more people get laid off through automation, now people are not going to have money, and the house of cards is just going to fall into itself, um, because we're running on a we're not running on real gas, we're running on fumes, right? And if people are not borrowing, the whole thing freezes. And that's why they're giving away, the stimulus checks right now, because if people don't spend money, the whole thing like falls into place, because this is not the old America where we were became the world reserve currency because we had all the gold and we produce everything here, right? No, this is the new America where everyone is in debt. We have debtpreneurs, debt credit cards, that's boats, that's ATVs, that's school education. I mean, everything you think about, your home, everything is on debt, and we don't produce anything. The big companies have outsourced everything to China and other countries, India, Pakistan, Taiwan, you name it. And so we're just delegating, but we're not the producers anymore. So we're living in an era where the American people, the American corporations, and Big Brother and states are debtpreneurs. They're debt consumption, and everything's on debt. And if there's no consumption, then the whole thing will collapse. Just that's why they're giving away free money. Now, I don't want any of this free money. I don't want to be in the government's nipple, because they want everyone to be on their nipple. So you're in debt to them, and um, I don't. Same with bankers. I don't want to be in debt to a banker. I don't want to be in debt to a Big Brother. I don't want to be in debt to anyone. Because I understand that the Big Brother cannot produce money. They don't produce anything. They only have money by taxing us or decreasing our buying power. That's the only way they have money, and that's the simple the story is. And so they can't give us something when they don't really have it, right? And so if they're giving us something, then I got to pay for it and you got to pay for it, and then your kids going to have to pay for it, and everyone's going to pay for it. But trust me, it's not for free. It's not a stimulus check. They should have a different name for it, like let me rob you check or something like that. I'm not sure. Just freestyling. So that said, there's going to be massive opportunities because millions and millions and millions and millions of people are own stuff that they can't really afford, and the only reason they have it is because they're depending on the next week's paycheck, and already next week's paycheck hasn't come for millions of Americans. Very soon that stimulus check will be over. Very soon unemployment check will be over, and then they're going to be in big trouble, and they have all the stuff that people can just take over their payments. It's as simple as that. Or they're willing to sell it to you at a deep discount because they need the money. They need cash. They're not liquid. They're living paycheck to paycheck. Doesn't matter if they have $1 billion home, $1 million home, $100,000 home, $10,000 home. It doesn't matter. Uh, and this is the era for opportunity. If you're willing to take risks, if you see opportunities, because some people live in America and they think there's no opportunities, and there's other people, millions of people would love to be here. So it all depends on your mindset. But this is an opportunity, in my opinion, that I don't get to see, maybe one time in my life, like every 100 years. Massive wealth is going to be created, and there's going to be massive people that are going to be losing their money. So 2020, great opportunity to be a real estate investor, great opportunity to be an entrepreneur, and bad time for a lot of people that overspent, over leveraged, and got stuff they shouldn't got, because now or very, very soon they're going to have to pay the reaper, guys. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Click the like button. Don't take no for an answer. And don't forget, if you're interested in turning $100 into a full-fledged business or a side hustle, then go to mrnoflip.com and download the new flip. I only have one more left at the flash sale of 138 versus the 1,000 bucks. And I'm very confident that if you take action, it's going to help you become your dreams very, very fast and stack up some chips for a side hustle or a full hustle, guys. This is Mike with mrnoflip.com. Don't take no for an answer.